Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing. Our guest today here with me in studio, which is a little unusual, we're very excited about it, is Wendy Lipton-Dibner, who is the author of Focus on Impact. Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Devin. I'm so glad we could do this face-to-face. It's perfect.
This is a lot of fun. You're here in town in Salt Lake City, which is part of your 11-state book tour. Tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Oh, it's amazing. It's an opportunity to shine a spotlight on difference makers all over the United States, talk about the book, obviously, and to have a chance to just really meet who's out there making an impact in the world.
Well, it is a wonderful thing, and I think you're having a lot of fun with this. I hope you are.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So this is toward the end of the tour, as I recall.
We're actually just over the halfway hump.
Okay.
So we still have a bunch of cities to visit. Every morning my husband wakes up and says, I love your book tour. We're just having a blast.
Where do you go next?
Next, we'll be in New York City, back east. Then we come back west again to Vegas, then out to Dayton, Denver, and Connecticut.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like a great trip. Now, you gave us some great tips for having more impact.
Yes.
Let's go through those tips. What was your first tip?
So what we need to do is we need to look at what's happening in the world in terms of the global economy is changing and recognize that impact is no longer just the purview of nonprofits. As businesses, we make a measurable impact with our marketing, our products, and our services, and the more we do that on purpose, the more impact and obviously profitability we build.
Yeah. There is this great connection in your mind and your experience between impact and money. How does this work? How does that relationship work?
You know, it's so amazing, and the research has proven it. So this is all data-driven, that when we take a business and we take their mind off of profitability and on to how can we just make a measurable difference for the people we serve, the money goes up automatically because the products get better, the team gets more involved, the marketing gets more purposeful, and in today's economy, we have to focus on impact.
Yeah. And so your second tip was?
I don't remember which
one. Okay, what did we do?
So why don't we look what we did?
Well, yeah, let's
talk some more.
That is a great idea. We'll just pull up those tips right here.
We don't confuse anybody with the articles.
Yes, that's right. We want to get right to this. So we'll pull it right up.
Beautiful. So we're going to read our own article. This is awesome. I love this. So, and if you guys haven't read this article, you really need to read it because he put it together so beautifully for you right there.
Well, it's great insights from Wendy. And here we go. Author to do more good, focus on impact.
Beautiful. So as you go through this and you start to look, so the first tip was literally that best practice isn't always smart practice. And right now, what we're seeing more and more and more through corporate healthcare, nonprofit, small business, and entrepreneurial companies is that traditional ways of marketing and running a company aren't as effective because of the change in the global market, because of the millennials and what they want to be doing in the world. We need to all be focused on impact now. The second tip was to capitalize on the social shift. So what we're seeing now is a shift, as you know, Devin, certainly, that we see more and more consumers getting skeptical and cynical and cautious, and we need to help them to feel good about what they're doing, and how we do that is by showing them results. So when somebody goes out and watches this show, what we want them to do is now come back to you and say, what did you do as a result of watching Devin? Give us metrics. Tell us what you were able to do that you couldn't do before, or what you could stop doing. Now you're capitalizing on the social shift by reporting real data, real results, instead of expecting people just to fall in love with you because you're a feel-good brand. It's just not going to fit anymore.
That's right. Now, and your third tip was to maximize your unique impact.
That's right. So each and every one of us is born to make an impact in the world. We know that. We do that every day. The question is, how do we then use that in business? And what we do is we strategically infuse the difference that you want to make in the world into your marketing, into your products, and into your services, so that what you do at night is you lie down and you say, okay, I'm making my mark on the world, and I'm doing it in a profitable business that's reaching millions and making millions, and I'm loving my life as I'm doing it. It's all about finding the unique gift you bring.
Well, you have really brought a gift to a lot of people. You've been at this for a little while.
I have.
Tell us about your founder story. How did this all begin?
It began at the U.S. Senate. I was sharing that with you yesterday. I had the opportunity, I was directing a research project. I'm a social researcher by background, entrepreneur by choice. And so what happened at that moment in time, when just because of some research that I had done, I got to watch a major decision be made that would affect millions. And I was like 20, and I saw for the first time in real world life that one person can make that kind of a mark on the world. And that set me off to figure out a way to do it in business, opening 10 different businesses of my own, all impact driven, and then obviously helping tens of thousands of businesses around the globe after that.
Yeah, well, your experience kind of comes together in your book now. And so your book is kind of a roadmap. I think that's the metaphor you use,
Exactly.
Right? Is kind of a roadmap for how one creates impact, reaches goals, focuses on outcomes. One of the most fascinating principles that you talk about is this idea of focusing on impact. I guess it's really the theme of the book, right?
Yeah.
To focus on impact and ignore the financials. How does that work?
Okay, so the research has shown over and over again that when companies put first focus on money, they end up spending more money to make up for the problems they caused because they focused on money. Quality goes down, personnel go away, conflict begins, it's a mess. What we have discovered is that when we shift that around, when we get all the money taken care of, the budget is there, the money is there, it's not that you forget about money altogether. You get the money taken care of, and then you put it out of your head and you focus every area of your business on how are we going to make a measurable difference with this thing we're doing today, whether it's a meeting or whether it's development of a whole new product line. How will this make a measurable change in the world, or at least for the people we serve, and then through the ripple effect?
Yeah. Well, that really is a wonderful principle, and I hope people can apply that because it's so powerful. Now, Wendy, you really are a role model to many, millions. Who do you look up to?
I love that question. I look up to two different places. First, I look very seriously at the executives and the experts and the employees that wake up every morning and say, I'm here to make a difference, tell me how to do it. To me, they're my heroes, because they're the ones that are going to make it possible for the generations after us. And then every single morning I wake up, and it's my husband. My husband, Dr. Hal Dibner, has made a bigger impact than anyone I've ever known around the globe. And I marvel at his incredible curiosity about getting to know people and then helping them break through their barriers. I've never seen anyone like him.
Oh, that's remarkable. That's a great story. That's really inspiring. Now, you could be doing anything, Wendy, and at one point earlier in your career, you kind of started out operating a beauty salon.
I did.
You could be doing anything. Why this?
Oh, wow. I think we all hear a call at some point. I mean, you certainly did.
Yes.
Through my businesses, and I've done the bankruptcy thing. I've done the learning the hard way thing. Each business was because I had gotten bored and it was time to do something new. I'm the classic entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But this is legacy time. I'm 58. I lost my mom when she was 59. And so I hear this clock. And what am I going to do? Take all these strategies with me? I mean, I've helped people make hundreds of millions of dollars, making changes in people's lives, and nobody had the strategies. So in the book, I'm just giving it all away. There's the 6 gifts that go with it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is all I got. Just give it up. Let's go.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that motivation to leave a legacy is something that a lot of people can relate to. I think that's really true. Now, you've been so successful, and I know your whole book is full of insights. You've already given us 3 great tips, but I'm looking for one simple impact hack, something that we can all apply every day in our lives, some bonus tip you might give us today. Absolutely. That would help us have more impact, do more good in the world.
Absolutely. So for every piece of marketing, every product, every service that you're even thinking of putting out into the world, figure out how can you measure that with concrete metrics, and then instruct your community on how to measure the effect you're having in their lives, and ask them to give you data. And if they're not making the growth that you want them to make, then ask them what's missing for them, and then create that product or service. If you use data, you can't lose.
Yeah, well, I think that's really an exciting principle. I certainly want to apply that, because there really is little more that important in trying to have impact than measuring it.
Exactly.
You know, the old axiom, you get what you measure, right?
Yes.
If we're not measuring impact, we have no idea what we're getting, right?
That's right.
And anything before impact is just activity, right?
Totally.
It doesn't really matter.
And the beauty of it, Devin, is that in this market, where our consumers are hungry for the interaction with us, you're capitalizing on this social shift that's happening anyway, where you're saying, look, here's what we want to happen in your life. Is it happening? If not, where are we missing the mark? How can we help you? And by generating that conversation that's very data-driven, it's not selling, all of a sudden you're going to create an entirely different level of trust with your community.
Yeah. Well, Wendy, before you go, when we're running out of time, tell everyone how they can connect with you, learn more, find the book,
Absolutely.
et cetera, because we have just touched the tip of the iceberg.
We have. Thank you so much. And the answer is focus on impact. So if you'll hold up your copy,
yeah.
If you just go to focusonimpact.com, all my contact information is on the bottom of that page. On the top of that page is a video where I'll tell you more about the social economy and what we need to be doing. And of course, then you can order your book, and I would love to serve you there.
Fantastic. Wendy, thank you so much for being with us today. We wish you every success with your book and everything else that you're doing.
Thank you for what you do. And before we go, can I just say one
sure,
thing?
Sure.
So my company is Professional Impact, and this year, in honor of Focus on Impact, we've decided to honor who are the difference makers in the world that aren't making a measurable impact with what we do. And yesterday, I did this very officially, but in front of your community, Devin, once again, I would like to offer you the Focus on Impact Certificate of Achievement Award, and thanks for the massive impact that you make in everything you do.
Well, thank you. You're far too kind. Far too kind. Thank you, Wendy. And let's do some good.
All right.